What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and to another wrestling games and news roundup, keeping you updated on all the latest news from the past week for AEW games, brand new releases, and of course WWE 2K22. We got some interesting bits to talk about, so let's dive right into it. Starting off with some brand new release, Retromania Wrestling is now available on Xbox. There's no release date yet for the PlayStation version of the game. They did indicate that there's still some testing being done and a small graphical issue is being worked on. So once that is figured out, it should be available on the PlayStation Store. For the Nintendo Switch, it looks like a March 30 release date is very possible, but they are still waiting for confirmation. For the Wrestling Code, we had the big LG Doug Gallows making a big announcement, providing us with a big roster update, indicating that Sex Ferguson and the Talking Shop podcast Ultraverse are coming to the video game. This is a big addition to it, meaning that him, Carl Anderson, and way more stars are now going to be part of the game. The interesting thing about all of this is also that they're Impact Wrestling superstars, so it's good that they came up with this type of deal to ultimately still be in the game, even if it is just their Talking Shop Ultraverse gimmicks. For the AEW Console Game, we haven't gotten any massive information just yet, and we are still waiting for the next AEW 2.0 show to see if they showcase anything to us. But one thing is certain is that they have been putting a heavy focus on community creation, and to emphasize that, we got developers like Brian Williams over on Twitter kind of letting us know that they're definitely listening and paying attention to what worked on other games to give it to us on the AEW game. Just to give you guys a bit of a background and why you should definitely follow Brian Williams over on Twitter. He has basically been with Ukes for multiple years now, so that means he was working on WWE 2K games all the way up to WWE 2K19. He continues to work with them now that they're gonna be switching over to the AEW Console Game. So it's good to see him involved in the community and kind of letting us know that they're listening and kind of asking questions which type of features it is that we really want to see. Recently, he ended up indicating that they're listening to the feedback of including features that we haven't seen in creations, but that are needed to make that experience even better. As Rev indicated, I adore WWE 2K19 and it's easily one of my favorite WWE games, but the fact that you can't put certain coats, a jacket, headpieces, etc. because of eyelashes really winds me up. Such a stupid fault. Brian, who wasn't even tagging this, simply indicated that he heard that and he appreciates the feedback. So again, taking it into consideration for the AEW Console Game. And I love that he is listening to different creators and just reading different type of complaints that ultimately could be feedback for what AEW needs to do and shouldn't be doing for their console game to be one of the best. And last but not least, we got more roster update for WWE 2K22 because as I mentioned to you guys, this is gonna be an ongoing thing. Unfortunately, WWE seems to be releasing a lot of superstars now, which will ultimately mean that they're not gonna end up being in WWE 2K22. Just over the last month or so, we lost the Big Show, Christian Cage, and Andrade Cien Almas. And again, that is just the last month. Before that, we lost a lot of top names too. This one is another big disappointment, especially because my created character pretty much copies 75% of Andrade's moveset. And even though the moves are gonna be there, now it's just gonna take an extra mile for me to set it up. On a more serious note, Andrade is an amazing talent. Wherever he goes, I'm sure he is gonna be giving us some great wrestling. Unfortunately though, with him being released this early, he's not gonna be included in the 2K22 roster. Even if he was already scanned, they're gonna have to remove him. Selena Vega was also recently released, so I'm pretty sure they're gonna be joining forces once again outside of the company. It just sucks we won't be able to see them in the next WWE game. The other big question is, what version of the Fiend are we gonna be seeing? Because after 3 to 4 months, he is finally back after being burned by Randy Orton, and he already has a complete different look. He looks like he joined the Shield on an alternate universe one that is much more darker, and his mask, as you guys can see, it is a melt-out version of his regular Fiend mask, and it looks like it's peeling off into a brand new one that is much darker. So I'm really hoping here that WWE 2K just gives us a different version of the Fiend. I'm almost certain that sooner or later he's just gonna go back to wear the regular Fiend mask, and if that is the case, I just want 2K to also give us this darker version of it, because again, it will be an awesome alternate attire. And as we mentioned before, it is a good way to continue keeping that roster stacked up after losing so many superstars and up to date as possible. Anyways guys, that is all the latest for this week Wrestling Games Roundup. Let me know down in the comments below which other alternate versions of superstars would you guys like to see in 2K22, and don't forget to hit an elbow drop and turn on those notifications. I'll catch you on the next one, so stay savage.